Preeya, I'm going to put together a lovely focaccia with lots of small goods. It's almost like a pizza without the sauce on it. Now, it's really easy to put together. I'm using some plain flour, which I empty out into my little bowl here. Oh, it's a big bowl, isn't it?
It is.
There we go.
With the little sachet, we'll remove that.
Well, the sachet is yeast, and some of these little packets come with yeast in them already, which gives the required amount for this. So I'll hand that over to you. And I'm going to add some sugar in here to make it nice and sweet. In that goes... and some yeast, which is out of the packet. I'll put it in a little bowl here. In that goes as well. And then I'll make a little well in the centre here. Preeya, if you can put a pinch of salt in here. And when you're adding salt to a yeast dough, you've got to make sure that you don't put too much.
Okay.
Because the salt actually stops the yeast from coming up. Doesn't kill it, but it just sort of stops it from working. Grab some extra virgin olive oil. I like to put olive oil in there because it makes it nice and luscious, gives it a good flavour, and it's one of the things I like. So I've got some warm water here, and I'm using warm water because we want to activate the yeast and get it going. And always save a little bit just in case there. Would you like to just hold that for me?
I can hold it here.
Keep it handy just in case. That's fantastic. It's like we're in a surgery, isn't it?
Well, I was actually going to say one of those statues holding a water jug.
Exactly. Yeah. And I like to make it come together really nice and gently, so that the dough comes together. I don't work the hell out of it. I just want it to be a nice, soft, luscious dough. I would add just a tiny bit more. Just a touch. That's about it.
Okay.
And that's just enough to pull the rest of this together. Move it around like that, and it comes together beautifully. Have a little feel of that.
Very easy, isn't it? I think we get afraid of making your own dough at home, but you make it look easy.
Exactly. And all the little crumbly bits, I just wipe off my hand like this. Now, I'm going to pop this over here, and this is what you do next. You pop this into a bowl here like this, cover it up so it stays nice and moist. And then, if you're like my grandmother, she would pop this under her electric blanket and put the doona over the top of it and turn it on number 2. And that would warm it up beautifully, and it would puff up and double in size. You like that, don't you? Yeah, and that way it comes up.
A lullaby?
A little lullaby. Good night, sweet dough, good night, something
I
like that.
was wondering what lullabies you knew, and that was disappointing. Most people would go rockabye baby, but that's okay.
Rockabye dough, there we go. Now, I've got a tray here, and I've also got a dough that I did beforehand because we want to get rocking. We want to get this finished. Now, depending on what you're making, you might knock it back and let it rise again. We're not going to do that. We're just going to get straight into it.
Yum.
You can see I've poured some oil onto the tray. Really, really important. And just rub it around with my fingers like this, which is also important because I get a little bit of olive oil on my fingers like this. You thought I was just being a grubby little thing, didn't you?
I did. I love that you know me well enough now. But I think your fingers have their own fan club.
Exactly.
They do. People love Richo's paws on here.
Well, it's, I'm a tradesman. My hands are like my tools. It's what I do. Have you seen a knife in my hand, the way that holds up? And, just like a sword. I could be a swordsman, couldn't I?
Good.
I love my hands.
Yes, well, that's very clear.
They've got some sausage there, and I want you to grab that sausage and snip it up for me. So what we're looking for is some lovely bits of sausage. There we go. Just makes my eyes water watching you do that. You do it so well. Just rip straight into it like you've done it 10 times beforehand. And you can see the salami I'm spreading out here like this. Nice and even, Stephen. So we want to make sure that we've got plenty of it all the way around.
So this is very much like a pizza, really, isn't it?
Well, it's like a focaccia pizza with sausage on it and lots of meat and small goods, all my favourite things. What could be better than, a sausage focaccia with 3 types of meat? If I could put another type on there, I'd be even happier. Now, we spread that over there like that. I
didn't know if there was a pattern happening.
Oh,
I know when I do it, there's a pattern. But with you, it appears to be more haphazard.
I just gave up on the pattern. I just thought we'd just load it up there like that.
Beautiful.
Now grab some olives over there as well, and some onions. I love onions on there as well, and some of the rosemary. And we'll just spread this around. Little Kalamata olives in there. You can use green olives, you can use red olives, pink olives, blue olives.
Any olive.
Any olive you can find.
Any olive you like.
Any olive you can find, you can put in there. And some white onion there as well. We'll just sprinkle a little bit of this on the top of it like that. And I love the way the onion caramelises and gives it a lovely colour on the outside of it.
I'm surprised you're not using red onion because you normally do use red onion and something like this.
That's me being predictable. So I like to sort of throw it out there a little bit and have some different types of flavours going on there. I love the red onion, and I'll just drizzle some extra virgin olive oil over the top of it. Plenty of oil on there, and of course we need some salt as well to make it even more delicious. So sprinkle that salt on there.
There's a lot in that sausage. They often contain a lot of salt in that salami as well.
That's why it tastes so good.
I'm thinking, though, this dough is rather easy to make, and you could do roasted veggies on here, like capsicum, zucchini.
But that Italian sausage on here and the salami just works so well, doesn't it?
does,
You
yeah.
could probably put a little bit of fried eggplant on here. That would be delicious. Some pepper goes on the top there. Now, you could actually pop this in a warm place and let it prove up a little bit, but my oven's hot. It's at 200 degrees Celsius. I can't wait for this one.
I can tell.
Preeya, there's my kind of focaccia with 2 types of meat on it. That's what I'm talking about. None of this salt and olive oil and those sorts of things. You want some real stuff on here, real flavour, real goodness. That's exactly the way a focaccia was first designed. It's almost like caveman food, isn't it?
It is. I don't know. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, they don't know if they had ovens. Were they doing this on a fire?
Or they would have cooked it over a rock,
you.
or maybe, you know, built a special oven in the cave and turned the entire cave into an oven so they could bake Richo's focaccia bread. They probably would have used mammoth sausage and maybe some sort of, you know, like triceratops salami, something like that. But how does it taste? Nice and fluffy, lots of oil in there, lots of meat in there.
The focaccia itself is beautiful, really fluffy. Really, really like it. I love the rosemary and the
Is it fluffy
onion.
Fluffy like me?
It is. I was waiting for that line. Look, I love this. It is small goods, but I would probably do this dough with some really beautiful roasted veggies on top. It's very versatile, but I really do like the dough.
I think putting more roasted veggies on here would be pushing it too far. I think the meat's enough. Don't want to go overboard. This is perfect just the way it is.
Okay, just like me.